Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another XDefiant video. The first one did pretty well. You guys are very interested in the game itself, and rightly so. I'm a Call of Duty channel. Call of Duty has not been producing the best of games as of late, and now suddenly the former head of Infinity Ward, as well as a bunch of pro players and other game developers, are putting together a game that has all the stuff that COD used to have that fans really enjoy. So I can definitely see the hype behind this game. I mean, in the beta alone, there's 14 maps, tons of guns. It's free to play. You unlock stuff by playing, including character skins, weapons, equipment, things like that. There's no skill-based matchmaking. There's going to be prestige mode when the full game comes out. There's going to be stat tracking. Like, they're doing a lot of things right with XDefiant, and I've played the game a lot more since my last video, and Mark Rubin, again, the former head of Infinity Ward, has decided to extend the beta by 2 days now. And right here, I just want to read this tweet, right? Coming from like Call of Duty to like a different game, it's so refreshing to see this. So, update, we are extending the beta by 2 days, so it now ends on Tuesday the 25th. So the beta hasn't gone the way we wanted in most ways, but in one way it has exceeded our expectations far beyond what we expected, and that's the reaction from you guys. It's been incredibly humbling to hear all your comments. Even when things were bad, everyone kept positive. Even though we knew we were showing you the game with serious flaws, you still understood what we were trying to do and loved it, so thank you to everyone for being there for us. It's so refreshing to see that kind of communication. If you go to his Twitter or you go to Ake's Twitter or any of these, like, they're talking so much about the game. Like, it's very clear there is passion and drive behind this game. They want XDefiant to be as good as it can possibly be. Now, you may be wondering, just some thoughts and opinions here, as to like how the game has progressed throughout the beta. Initially, it was very slow going. There was lots of netcode issues. They eventually updated progression because there were so many beta bugs. This is a proper beta. It's not a COD beta, which is essentially just, you know, a glorified demo. This is a proper beta which had many issues that need to be addressed, and as part of that, progression was not working for a lot of people, so they unlocked everything for everybody, so you could just have every gun, every attachment, every piece of equipment, and things like that. Eventually, once they fixed progression, they took that feature away, so now you don't have access to everything. You have to actually level up and unlock things once again. They added ranked play in a freaking beta for people to test out. I mean, Call of Duty ranked play, like, we're lucky if we even get one every single year. They're testing it out in the beta of this game, for crying out loud, so that's fantastic. But I will say, my impressions are basically the same as my first impressions of XDefiant. I think what they have here is a fantastic core game. I'm just wondering how well it's going to stick, and I'm wondering about some of the balancing aspects of the game. Like, for example, we'll be talking about the netcode here in a second, but for example, you know, if you play as one of the different factions in the game, which all the factions are based on different Ubisoft projects like The Division, Tom Clancy, and things like that, you have access to different abilities, similar to specialists in the Call of Duty franchise. One of those abilities, which I'm showing you guys gameplay of right here, it's just like, you throw down a shield, and enemies can't shoot through that shield, but you can. They can destroy the shield with an EMP grenade, but you have to do a challenge where you have to damage enemy equipment with like 1,000 points of damage with your normal grenades to unlock an EMP grenade. So not everyone has access to that, but everyone can have access to this thing right away, this shield, and it really kind of just takes away from the game, in my own personal opinion. This is like literally like one of my biggest gripes of the game. Like, I like specialists in the COD franchise. I like COD without specialists, but when it comes to the abilities that we have here in XDefiant, some of them just don't seem to fit with the idea of a fast-paced arcade arena shooter. I mean, throw whatever buzzword you want in there, you know what I mean? Like, everyone calls it something different, but I think they call it like an arena shooter, right? And when you can just every 30 seconds throw down, and you can have up to 6 of these on your team if every single person's running it, you know, you can just throw down these barriers where the opponents can't shoot through, but you can. You know, you run up the B flag, you throw down your barrier, and they try to stop you, and you're invincible. They're not. It feels weird. Like, it seems like some of these abilities don't really mesh well with some of the other abilities in the game. It might be different once the full game comes out and more people have access to things like the EMP grenade and things like that, but for right now, it seems like some of the abilities really hinder the gameplay and kind of go against the entire focus of the game, which is supposed to be this fast-paced, fun arena shooter. And another aspect of the game, which, honest to goodness, like, one of the biggest reasons why I haven't been playing a ton of XDefiant. People keep, you know, showing up to my streams and stuff. They're like, Nero, this game's like built for you. Why don't you play it? Like, man, like, it's fun, but I've experienced a lot of what there is to experience, and I'm tired of not having my opponent be in the same spot on my screen as he is on their screen. Like, I'll just pull up some examples right here for you. Like, the netcode in the beta was very bad. It still is very bad. They've done a number of server updates, but those server updates have not been fixing the netcode. The netcode itself, we're playing like an earlier build of the game. The netcode itself is just completely boinked in the beta, basically, and as a result, you're gonna have plenty of times where you're dying around corners, and also makes you kind of feel bad as the person getting the kill, because, you know, you get a kill on someone, you think it was maybe a little bit easy, maybe you outplayed them, maybe you outshot them, but who knows? Maybe on their screen, they're trying to go around the corner and you just happen to murder them because on their screen, they're around the corner, but on your screen, they're not. And you end up winning, peeker's advantage and things like that. So the beta itself has been incredibly rough from that perspective. And again, going back to what Mark was saying on Twitter, I mean, they knew they were showing us a broken version of the game, but the game itself is fun even when it's broken. So I think that's a good thing. Is it something I'm going to want to grind like 8 hours a day? Of course not. It's a beta. Nothing is carrying over except for the free battle pass that's in the beta where you can keep that content going forward, which is mostly just cosmetic stuff. But in general, it's a beta, and I don't want to grind a beta 8 hours a day, especially when, things like hit detection, things like sound design, and things like that just simply aren't really working as intended. I think what they have here is a fantastic game. I think the XDefiant definitely has legs, and I think we have a serious competitor in the first-person shooter market. The big question is how good will the game actually be at launch? Apparently, going back to the netcode idea, apparently they already have a newer build of the game that is like already better, and like the hit detection is very good, the netcode is very good, and things like that, but that's not the version of the game that we're playing in the beta, which is frustrating, but I get it. It's game development, but at the end of the day, it's a fun game, and I think it has legs, and I'm excited to see where they're going to take this going forward. The beta does end in 2 days, so we're going to be without the game for a while, but when the game does officially launch, man, that's going to be pretty fun. I think it's going to be fun to have another game kind of like COD, but not COD, and have a development studio that seems to actually care. And a publisher, I mean, you can say what you want about Ubisoft, but it seems like the publisher cares as well. Like, they're not, releasing like an annual XDefiant or anything like that. They're not going to push the game out before it's ready. Hopefully not, anyway. It seems like they actually genuinely care about this game. They want it to be great, and I think they understand, which so many other studios, because so many games nowadays are part of a franchise. They're part of an established franchise with an established publisher, and as a result, they can put out these subpar games and then try to fix them 6 months after launch because they know people are going to buy the game, right? When it comes to XDefiant, it's a brand new IP. It takes other IPs from the Ubisoft like universe and all that, but it's essentially, for all intents and purposes, a brand new IP, and it seems like they really do want first impressions to actually matter with this game. So hopefully it's completely ready at launch. Hopefully it's everything that they've talked about. And again, going back to it, you have so many maps, so many guns, free to play, lots of progression within the game, no skill-based matchmaking. That is fantastic. Prestige mode, like bringing back like all the stuff that we enjoyed about COD. And I wonder what they're going to do with the balancing of the different characters in the game. I wonder if kill streaks are possibly on the menu. I think Aches said in his stream that search and destroy is something that they're going to be starting to work on because so many fans want a one life and no respawn style game mode. And yeah, like they're doing everything right. Their communication's been on point, like nothing but good things, man. I mean, there's some bad things about the beta, of course, but it's a proper beta, you know what I mean? So 2 thumbs up for me. I continue to play it every now and then and just jump in and kind of experience what the game has to offer, but I'm more excited for the full launch of the game, and I would love to hear what you guys think down there in the comment section below. Before we wrap up this video here today, apologies for the video being shorter or if I sound like way different or anything like that. I didn't want to lead off with this, but I am fighting, and yeah, maybe this is like, oversharing or whatever, but I think like, it takes a man to admit when they messed up. I have this one tooth, man. It got so bad, and now it's like all infected and shit, and like I had to get on antibiotics, and like my entire like left side of my face feels swollen right now. I'm just fighting off this like wicked fever and everything. That's why there haven't been very many videos up lately. Been dealing with that. It hurts so goddamn much, and talking is not exactly fun. So I'm gonna wrap up the video here today. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Again, leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.